Gosoku ryū, whose name can be rendered as hard and fast style, is a school of karate born in Japan during the post-war years. Its creator, Grandmaster Takayuki Tak Kubota, drew the first outlines of the system in 1953 when he was not yet 20 years old. He had grown up on the island of Kyushu, steeped in a household where combat skills were a daily routine. His father drilled him in jujitsu and stick fighting, demanding hundreds of precise strikes, kicks, stances, and formal exercises every single day. Visiting Okinawa teachers added their own lessons in the indigenous art of te, while the Second World War still raged. By the time peace returned, young Kubota already possessed a formidable blend of strength, stamina, and technical variety. During the years that followed the war, Kubota traveled to Tokyo, where he entered the Shotokan training hall of Master Kenkin Toyama, a man who had studied directly under the Okinawan giants Itosu and Higaonna. Toyama encouraged an open-minded approach. He expected students to cross-train and to discard anything that failed under pressure. Kubota absorbed this attitude completely. From that moment onward, he refused to tie himself to dogma, insisting instead that a living art must adapt or wither. Tokyo also provided Kubota with a harsh proving ground. From the late 1940s, the Metropolitan Police began hiring him to teach arrest techniques, empty hand control, and baton tactics. Still a teenager, he accompanied riot units into some of the most dangerous quarters of the city. One well-known incident tells how he subdued a gang of knife-wielding troublemakers single-handedly, an event that earned him both respect and an official commendation. Experiences like that hardened his conviction that technique is worthless unless it can prevail against a genuinely violent assailant. When he set about shaping a style of his own, Kubota chose the word Gosoku, combining the characters for hardness and speed, because he believed that the two qualities must intertwine like strands of rope. He reasoned that raw power without velocity becomes ponderous, while sheer quickness without substance lacks stopping force. Gossokuryu students therefore practice deep-rooted stances to develop hip-driven impact, yet they also cultivate a short sliding step that lets them whip the entire body behind a blow even at arm's length. The moment a block meets an incoming strike, the hips reverse direction and fire back a counter, so defense and offense fuse into one continuous line. Shotokan supplied the straight punches and penetrating front kicks that travel along a direct path, whereas Goju-ryū contributed circular parries, hooked punches, and sudden changes of rhythm ideal for close quarters. Kubota welded these elements together and then fortified the mix with throws from judo, joint locks from classical jujitsu, wrist controls from aikido, and foot sweeps favored by police riot squads. By the early 1950s, he was running impromptu workshops for American soldiers stationed around Tokyo. By the end of that decade, he had taught at half a dozen bases, refining drills so that a trainee could move from baton to open hand and back again without hesitation. Opportunity knocked in the summer of 1964 when Kempo pioneer Ed Parker invited Kubota to demonstrate at the first international karate tournament in Long Beach. Western spectators had rarely witnessed such a marriage of speed and crushing impact. Within months, Kubota resettled in the United States, opening his headquarters in Glendale, California. There, he educated recruits from the Los Angeles Police Academy, agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and instructors from military installations across North America. He became a citizen of the United States in 1974, yet he never severed ties with Japan, preferring to think of Gosoku ryū as a bridge rather than a ticket to migration. The curriculum he codified is broad without becoming chaotic. After establishing fundamental strikes, blocks, and kicks, students begin a slate of 17 formal kata that Kubota authored specifically for the style. Each pattern isolates a tactical theme. One explores angular footwork, another emphasizes low hooks and uppercuts, a third links throws to ground pins. Advanced practitioners progress to weapon sets that feature the tonfa, the short staff known as jo, the wooden cane, and even the katana for situational defense. Kubota also created the Kubotan keychain, a palm-sized rod that turns an ordinary set of keys into an innocuous striking tool. Initially devised for female officers of the Los Angeles Police Department and now standard issue in many agencies around the world. In daily practice, Gosokuryu unfolds in three layers that Kubota called foundation, integration, and verification. Foundation covers crisp basics performed in the air or on padded shields. Integration welds those basics into flowing combinations, always ending with control over the partner. Verification means testing everything in live sparring or scenario drills that reproduce likely dangers, from an alcohol-fueled shove in a bar to a grappler's takedown attempt in a parking lot. Nothing is decorative. If a sequence fails to meet the verification standard 3 times in a row, the class re-engineers it on the spot. Hold on for a second. Thank you for watching my videos. If you enjoy what I do, you can support my project via clicking the Join Sponsor button on YouTube. That way you can get early access to my new videos before anyone else. You are also going to get access to my Daido Juku Kudo karate courses. Now, let's get back to the video. Kubota preached 3 guiding ideals so often that senior students could recite them in their sleep. First, teach widely, because a larger community of practitioners will pressure the art to improve. Second, teach realistically, because an opponent on the street cares nothing for winning points. Third, teach personally, because body type, age, and temperament each demand tailored advice. Children might drill playful footwork games to build timing, while law enforcement officers might repeat joint lock chains in full gear until muscle memory replaces conscious thought. Recognition followed. In 1992, the editors of Black Belt magazine inducted him into their Hall of Fame as Weapons Instructor of the Year. Hollywood producers placed him in films such as Tora 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 and The Killer Elite, trusting him to choreograph scenes that blended cinematic flair with authentic mechanics. Among the notable faces who sweated under his gaze were the actor James Caan, who sought realism for crime roles, and martial arts champion Chuck Norris, who borrowed Gosoku ideas for full contact competition. Over time, the International Karate Association, which Kubota founded in 1958, established branches on every continent except Antarctica. One chapter at Occidental College in Los Angeles eventually hosted the Grandmaster for weekly classes stretching across 4 decades, proving that a university setting can nurture both scholarship and martial grit. When Kubota passed away in the summer of 2024, dojos in Tokyo, Sao Paulo, Stockholm, and Sydney rang ceremonial bells in unison, each toll marking a year of his life. Today, Gosoku ryū remains what its creator demanded, a living art. Senior instructors hold annual councils where they review new data pulled from mixed martial arts bouts, law enforcement encounters, and competitive karate circuits. If an emerging tactic shows promise, they test it for 12 months. If it proves sound, it joins the syllabus. If it wilts, it vanishes. Through that relentless cycle, the style continues to honor Kubota's core belief that karate must always stay hard, always stay fast, and always face the world exactly as the world is.